Morning, Monday morning, nice and fresh. I'll show you what we got up to on Friday because I didn't make a video. I didn't make a video Friday afternoon. So we're all ready for roof. All our purlins are on. Don't really know exactly what's happening with our transition point. So what we'll do, we'll wait for the roofers, see what they want to do. They're here tomorrow, all going well, and they'll give us, there's a few extra purlins and bits of timber in this area, just because we'll have, the low roof will get laid first, then there'll be a flashing on top of that and going up underneath the main roof, and then the main roof will come over the top. We got all our nice fascia and spouting on, nice and clean, all courtesy of Fine Line Fascia and Spouting in Hamilton. So if you need some fascia and spouting, get onto them. Good bunch of guys. Yeah, we've got a few screws and bits and pieces to do on top, but we probably won't film that because it looks just like putting screws in. And then we have got the footing holes, which are those pink pegs. We've got 3 posts going under the carport, so all that's just propped at the moment. We'll get those dug. Posts are coming into the week. We can tape our windows because they're flapping a bit. We're sort of just papering it so that we could carry on with our soffit framing and that. So, but yeah, we've had to tidy up inside, tidy up outside. That's still our rubbish pile. So there's probably, I don't know, maybe 3 wheelbarrows or so worth to get to this stage. So yeah, a few nogs and bits and pieces to go in, but I think we're going good. Tuesday morning, bright and early. Roofers are on their way down. A bit of a late one last night. So these are our skylights over our bathroom. So just getting some framing in for those. So they're nice and square, parallel to each other, so all our flashings all line up nicely. There's a couple scaffold tubes sticking up through the roof, which Scaffy's on his way to get rid of. And a couple of our props, which you can see there, and they're holding up our carport beam. They'll need trimming off. And then lastly, we've got some strap bracing. See that thin metal strap on the diagonal, and there's one that'll go from that corner to that corner, so we're just working on that at the moment, get that tidied up, and then the roofers will be here. They'll lay their underlay and start chucking some sheets on, which will be mint, because once we've got a lid on the place, and there won't be any windows or joinery going in until the end of the month, so it just gives it a couple of weeks for the wind to just whistle through, dry everything out, and yeah, stops that rain getting in. So good as. So just a bit of a close-up of how we've got our straight line for our carport, because obviously we built the building first and then we've just nailed the carport on the side of it. So how do we get that to line up? How do we make that square off the building? How do we keep this front wall here nice and straight? Well, we've got a string there set 10 mils off the building, and if we go to the other end, you can see string there is also set 10 mils off of that framing. And then in here, that nail's not doing anything, but what we're trying to do, if I can find my ruler, we're basically able to move the carport left and right. If it'll zoom in, it'll focus. And we just want to check that the line in theory should be 10 mils off the building at this point. So at this point the line's floating. If we move the carport, the distance here changes. Obviously we've got 10 mil at each end. We want 10 mil in the middle too, because this is our hinge point on the corner of the building. That's where the carport's attached. So this point's not going to change. That point there can change because we can move that side to side in theory before we put those strap braces on. We can't now, but as you saw on the ruler, that line is 10 mils right the way across. So we know that that point there, which is just as far as we can get up to our bay window, it's like the biggest straight line that we can get, and that point there are all in a dead straight line. So Justin's just in the master bedroom putting some ceiling battens up, and I'm with the roofers just trying to work out our transition joint for that change of pitch flashing, and then throwing in the extra purlin just to support those flashings. The roofers are putting in their underlay. And very quickly they'll start laying some sheets, getting their measurements and making a start. So there is netting going on the carport, because whilst the roofing paper is self-supporting, it's not. I think the main roof is 20 degrees and the carport roof is 10 degrees, and most self-supporting underlays, I don't know what the exact cutoff is, but they're self-supporting at 20 degrees is fine, but 10 degrees they need netting for support. So there is a minimum pitch for self-supporting underlay. The only thing that won't be done today are the skylights, as there's quite a few flashings and bits and pieces that can only be measured once the sheets are laid. So the skylights are on site. Obviously everything's framed up, ready for them to go in. But until those sheets go on, there's not a lot. There's no real way to measure the flashings. You can have a stab at it, but it's not a very neat job doing it that way. So this way, do things in the right order. Get the sheets on, have an accurate measure. What else? So while all this is going on, upstairs, we're putting some ceiling battens up. Downstairs, and I do have a couple of time lapses of those, I think coming towards the end of this clip or end of this video. So and obviously while we're doing ceiling battens and someone's installing underlay, there were other guys measuring and pre-cutting roofing sheets. So as you can see, when people are organised and you've got a good crew, which Peter Lloyd Roofing, amazing to deal with, you can see just how fast and efficient these guys are. So just speed this up again. So what they're doing, the guys folding up the you've got ridges and troughs, which you can probably work out which is which in the profile of the roofing iron. So all the tops of the sheets, the troughs need folding up, and that's just to stop. Oh, you can see it actually clearer on the skylight
that shadow is where the edge of the sheet's been folded up. So any top of sheet cut edges will get folded up like that, and that's just to stop driving rain and the wind that quite often will carry stormwater with it from blowing up and getting above the sheet and then being able to get into the roof space and onto that underlay. So the underlay is waterproof, and it's designed more for condensation really than leaks. In theory, if any water does get through the iron, it'll hit the underlay and it can run out, because the underlay laps into the spouting over the edge of the fascia, or it's supposed to. You'd have seen earlier in the video that obviously this one does. So, but yeah, just that sheet fold up there just gives you that extra protection. While the underlay is waterproof, if any water does get in there, it's not really something you want to rely on. Really, you just want the water to not get in there in the first place. It's more a fail-safe than a your roof design. So this might be a bit hard to pick out what's going on, because I imagine to the uninitiated it just looks like a big pile of sticks. But what we're doing is putting up our timber ceiling battens in the main lounge area. So Justin's marking out, I'm tacking them up, get everything tacked up, try and join them on a truss. So it's a bit faster if you fire them up first and then cut them on the truss for the bigger spaces. The smaller rooms you can sort of pre-cut the room because they're all going to be the same size. So that stack there on the nog, they're all pre-cut for Justin to put up. But yeah, that lounge area we'd have just put up some full lengths, cut them off to the nearest truss, and then measure the next one that butts into it. And the main thing that we're going for here is flatness. We want the ceiling battens to be as flat as possible. In terms of straight for left and right, it's not crucial, because the ceiling battens will be visible to us while we're installing the jib. So a chalk line is perfectly sufficient to get them straight through there. There is quite a bit of work involved, certainly in the big lounge areas, getting these things flat for up and down. That's what's going to be seen. That's obviously that's what the jib ceiling sheets are connecting to. So we don't want any bits up and down, because you'll see the shadows once it's painted and it looks bloody awful. So we're firing them up for now, and we will go through and get them all nice and straight edge, string lines, laser, everything, just to make sure they're spot on. Quick walkthrough. End of the day, ceiling battens are up, nice and tidy. It's our main lounge. Guest bedroom ahead, be a fireplace right where we're looking now. Scaffold in the bathroom. Master bedroom to the right hand side, it's the guest bedroom. If you've got a project in mind, where it's a renovation, new build, landscaping, we do light commercial as well. Get in touch today, rbt.co.nz. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and see you on the next one.